Good evening. Former world boxing champion Barry Michael has opened up on his heartbreak after police charged his son with murder. The 37-year-old is accused of fatally stabbing a man outside a Footscray hotel. Now his dad is left to wonder if it could all have been prevented.
From aspiring protege to accused murderer, the son of boxing legend Barry Michael could be facing life behind bars.
When I read it was a 37-year-old Williamstown person and the police knocked on the door, I figured straight away it was. I sort of knew anyway that it would be Zach. Terrible shock, but not a shock in a way because he's been crying out for help.
Zach Swetnam fronted court today sporting an overgrown beard and a forensic suit. The 37-year-old is accused of stabbing a man in a deadly confrontation outside Footscray's Courthouse Hotel on Sunday night.
Horrendous. He was such a good kid, had such a high IQ.
It's not the 37-year-old's first run-in with the law. He was known to police. His father says he'd been struggling with an amphetamine addiction, a world away from the future he once imagined, following in his father's footsteps.
At one stage he was doing a double degree law and business and, was always brilliant at school, but slipped into the drug scene when he was in his 20s, I guess.
The court heard Swetnam suffers from various mental health issues, including psychosis and schizophrenia. The accused has been sleeping rough for the past 12 months, staying between various tents and parks. His father says that when he does return home, he's prone to violent outbursts. His world champion boxing father remaining by his side through it all, now confronting the unimaginable.
I'm so sad for this family, a 25-year-old evidently from South Yarra. I do believe they knew each other. This is what the police told me. The system has really seriously failed my son. And look, the ice epidemic in Australia and the world is just the worst thing I've ever seen.
Rochelle Brown, 7 News.
A bizarre rampage along Chapel Street ended with police dragging a man from the Yarra River. It came after a chaotic sequence with the suspect allegedly running through a childcare centre, jumping off a 10-metre high roof and trying to steal a number of cars.
A dramatic end to a bizarre morning, even by Chapel Street standards.
It's just another day in Melbourne,
Police pulling a man from the Yarra River after he defiantly leapt off the Church Street Bridge. The police hot on his heels.
He's refusing to get out of the water, I think.
I was like, there's way too many police for it to be just someone falling in the water.
The rampage all started here in a laneway off Chapel Street around 9:50 this morning. The man ran through a childcare centre before jumping from its roof.
He did basically a Superman jump, which was quite brave. So it's approximately 9 to 10 metres. I thought he was dead.
But by the time roof maintenance worker Ramon Heisels went down to help, the man was gone.
So, and then we're like, well, that is weird.
Construction workers who were nearby at the time say the man then hitched a ride on the side of a removalist van, taking him up Chapel Street. He then jumped off and attempted to carjack a number of vehicles before making a beeline for the bridge.
A pretty unsettling scene, a crazy man, a bit full of blood in the face that was just running up and down the road. He tried to open a few cars.
Police fingerprinting for evidence this afternoon. The man was taken to hospital for assessment. So far, no charges have been laid.
It's a very strange city, a lot of weird shit happens here that you don't get in Italy.
Georgia Bennett-Murphy, 7 News.
A teenager who pleaded guilty to one of Victoria's biggest firebombing attacks is fighting for his freedom again. The 15-year-old has admitted torching the 80-proof distillery in Keysborough, causing $3.5 million worth of damage. Then, released on a supervision order, he attacked an off-duty police officer in Southbank. Today he pleaded guilty to that attack and is seeking to be freed once again. The court is yet to reach a decision. Hundreds of retail workers are facing the axe after a deal to save barbecues galore from collapsing imploded this afternoon. Live to Blake Johnson outside the Richmond store. And Blake, customers with gift cards will be left scrambling.
They have until the end of the month to redeem them, Pete, but for about 500 employees, this is the end of the line for their jobs at Barbecues Galore. 62 stores around the country will close, including this one on Bridge Road in Richmond. The future of 27 franchised stores is still being worked out. The company went into voluntary administration 4 months ago. It was hoped some sort of deal could be struck to save the brand, which has been around since the 1970s. But ultimately, it's believed issues with some suppliers and some landlords couldn't be worked out. Just on those gift cards, they can be redeemed, but with conditions. For every dollar you have on the voucher, you have to spend 3 times that to be able to use it. So, for example, a $100 gift card, you must buy something worth $300 in store to be able to use it. A small piece of good news for those staff that are about to be let go. All of their redundancy and entitlements will be paid in full. Peter?
Blake Johnson in Richmond, thank you. The Premier is standing firm as her party faces an election wipeout, with twice as many Victorians now preferring Jess Wilson in the top job. And for the first time, Jacinta Allen concedes some of Labor's vote is now drifting to One Nation.
A defiant Jacinta Allen staring down any leadership challenges, insisting her position as Premier is not on life support.
I am absolutely determined to see this through.
Persistent reports suggest she's such a liability that her Labor leadership is terminal. Do you see that the polls are showing that you're electoral poison?
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and I am all in.
A new poll of favourable versus unfavourable. Jacinta Allen has slumped another 5 points. On preferred Premier, Liberal Jess Wilson almost doubles her. Have any of your colleagues urged you to step aside?
No, these...
No one?
I've seen... No.
None of your colleagues have had a conversation with you about your leadership?
Absolutely not. And I've seen these reports. I don't know who these people are. There's a few anonymous people, a small number. They might be interested in navel gazing. I'm not.
The Premier had made notes of responses to questions about her leadership, and this...
When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Which she said 8 times in 20 minutes, was pre-written too. For the primary vote, Labor is now third. The change since March shows how far and fast One Nation has come. A massive shift since the last election.
I'm really proud to stand by the Premier, and I know others are too.
Premier, everyone else is? You're sure everyone else is?
Yes.
Victorians aren't looking for a change in Premier, they're looking for a change in government.
For months, the Premier has insisted the surging popularity of One Nation is hurting the coalition ahead of November's state election. But today, a change in language.
One Nation is taking a slice out of the Labor Party vote. The old rules of politics, they're changing.
But she hopes her job title isn't. Paul Dowsley, 7 News.